Before, there was only nothing. But then, there was something. This is the story of Fortnite. The whole life was fighting, but then we started getting warnings. This was when everything changed.
The world will never be the same. Brace for impact.
The crater was seized by an organization, and soon after, the meteorite cracked open, releasing a mysterious man whose intentions were unclear. He quickly built a rocket and launched it into the sky. the mysterious cube began rolling around the island before eventually reaching the lake. After harnessing enough energy, the cube attempted to open up a portal and begin the next step in its mission. The intentions of this cube were unknown, but it was after something powerful within the lake. After we were saved from the cube, The explosion caused a fragment of a nearby ice moon to crash into the ocean. And it was heading towards the island. A being named the Ice King arrived with the fragment along with his castle. He froze the entire island to keep his prisoner from escaping. But it was too late. He escaped, and he was known as the Fire King. While the Fire King and the Ice King waged their war, a mysterious organization rose from the shadows, secretly establishing dig sites across the island. They were searching for something until they found it. Hidden beneath the lake was an immense vault. Soon, mysterious runes appeared, keys to unlock its secrets. The vault beckoned to be opened, but what lay within changed everything. Our world was never what it seemed. Inside the vault was a powerful orb of energy, surrounded by 6 pillars, each containing a legendary item forged for battle. In front of the orb stood a desk, upon which rested a mysterious helmet. It was clear this belonged to the Vault Keeper, but we could only choose one item from the pillars. Once our choice was made, our worst nightmare became reality. The Fire King launched his assault. Striking every major city across the island. Including the iceberg itself. 2 individuals were still stranded on the surface during the attack, but fortunately, they discovered a secure bunker just in time. During the 100 years that passed, the secret government organization seized control. They imprisoned the Vault Keeper and forced her into rebuilding the cities destroyed in the war. These new cities now thrive, powered entirely by the energy harnessed from the vault itself. But during his time in the bunker, the man began experiencing visions of the future. He painted vivid images of familiar events, yet something was terribly wrong. These paintings were warnings of what was yet to come. No one knew where this man had come from, and no one believed his warnings. Until suddenly, the iceberg began to crack. A giant eye peered through the melting ice, unleashing a monster once hidden by the Ice King. Soon, it circled the island, sparking fear. As the government did nothing, the Vault Keeper, known as the Paradigm, volunteered to build and pilot a powerful mech to defeat the monster. With no other choice, construction swiftly began inside the volcano's power plant. They prepared for the final showdown. After defeating the monster, Paradigm piloted her mech away from the island, finally escaping captivity. The old man's visions had come true, and he mysteriously vanished soon after, but echoes of him remained. Peace had returned to the island at last, but it wouldn't remain that way for long. The powerful energy orb was left exposed and uncontrolled, causing it to destabilize rapidly. If not contained, it threatened to plunge the island into chaos, but it was already too late. Time on the island was spiraling out of control. The 0 point was unstable. The meteorite returned, as well as the cube. But this time, a different being emerged. He called himself the Scientist. Unlike before, he began constructing rift beacons across the island, opening up rifts into other dimensions. He was just one of 7 mysterious beings, all trying to save reality.
What the 7 of us are attempting is very risky. I suspect they are not the only ones watching, but it must be done or we lose the bridge forever. I speculate that no one calculated the formation of the island, that interdimensional matter collisions would resolve rather than push. Now that I witness it firsthand, it's obvious that pinching alone made it inevitable. When I hear this again, will it help me remember? Or once looped, will I be just as muted as the others? No matter, it seems the lengthy precautions worked. The galactic theorem was a success. You arrived outside the loop at the exact moment of expansion. This effectively paused the singularity, giving us time to create the devices needed to synchronize the junction. What I didn't factor was that the only way to trigger the device was from within the loop itself. Thus this hasty and primitive recording, and why now I find myself looped. Activate the beacon at precisely the moment this timer reaches nothing. The 0 point must be contained once more. If they are correct, it will be the end.
all of reality had been destroyed. The nothing is now inevitable.